This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
Are these 5 retirement rules so outdated that they are practically useless? Abe Abich is going to tell us what he thinks. This is the Retirement Key. I'm Heather Branch here to ask Abe about things like retirement rules that so many people are still applying, still using, but are they really worth it? Remember that you can always find more with Abe and his team. Connect at theretirementkey.com. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there. It all begins, there's this website. It's called thetop10s.com. And if you're ever looking for a brain break, it's a great place to go. Just lists upon top 10 lists. And it started with a conversation about things that we learned in school that are now, it's like, why did we learn this? The number one thing on this top 10 list of things we learned in school that is useless, playing the recorder. Did you learn to play the recorder in school?
Yeah, I didn't, but my brother did. I remember just walking around with that wooden thing, and like everyone tries it, and everyone's got their mouth on that thing.
Gross.
Yeah. It was.
So other things that we learned in school. Because it's people chiming in with the ideas. Some people talk about learning the periodic table. Did you have to do that? I don't think I had to memorize the periodic table.
I do. I remember that.
Or what about multiplication and see, that's the thing. Is some people talk about long multiplication and long division and then writing cursive. I think there's some skills in life that you should know, some basic things, how to read cursive.
Well, I don't think they teach that in school anymore, and
it's actually coming back. I think
it should be. It should be. The fact that a lot of kids can't even write.
They can't read it. There's a lot of old literature,
it's true.
Go way back, and people can't read it.
That's true.
Okay, so flipping the conversation over to you, Mr. Financial Advisor, and how we can do better with our money and retirement planning. We have this list of these 5 retirement rules that some say they're so outdated, they're almost useless. So talk us through what these rules are and what your thoughts are. Do you think that they're outdated?
Yeah, there are 5 rules here that we think are outdated from this article. And so the first one, Heather, is the 4% rule.
Yep.
Now, the 4% rule is pretty common, was developed by a financial advisor 30 plus years ago. And the thought is, well, if I have $100,000, $1 million, whatever it is, and I take 4% out of my investments, my nest egg each year, well, the markets are up 70 to 80% of the time. And if I'm making 4% or more and I'm pulling and withdrawing 4% or less, then long term, I should be okay. And I should be making more money on my investments than I'm withdrawing. But here's the issue. Fluctuating market and interest rate environments can significantly impact the sustainability of a fixed withdrawal rate. In addition, we always talk about it in retirement, the distribution years. You've got your go-go years, your slow-go years, your no-go years. So spending in retirement isn't straight up. You're going to spend the most amount of money in that first 5 to 10 years. You're going to start slowing down as you head into your 70s and 80s. You'll still be alive, but you're going to have a lot of stuff done by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And then your last years, your no-go years, you could be spending more money for healthcare, but just taking out a flat fixed percentage like 4%, may not do the trick and may not be the best, approach to distributions. And there are good distribution planning strategies you want to have in place. We're a distribution planning firm that primarily works with people that's just about to retire or in retirement. So income and distributions are kind of what we really excel at.
Okay.
Number 2, saving a fixed percentage of income. So all the time, people come in and I ask them, what they're saving. Are they maxing their 401ks out? No, I'm putting away 10%, 15% or 5%. Maybe they heard it from coworker at the water cooler or at the coffee station. And it's like, yeah, I'm saving 10. You should too. Typically people want to save at least what the match is, right? So they get the free match. If the match is 4 at a company, that means you typically need to put in 4 to get the free 4.
Yep.
So you want to take advantage of that. But oftentimes for our clients, as they're approaching retirement and making more money than they ever have, they really want to be maxing out their 401ks if possible.
Okay.
Where they're still getting the match, maxing them out. And really, husband and wife working together those last few years can suck a lot of money away if they're disciplined and
So we're doing
diligent.
ourselves a disservice by sticking to some, because the 10% idea, I think, goes back to also when you're young, you're in your 20s and you're making like no money and it's very hard to save. Just then the rule is like just save 1, 2, 3% of your paycheck, or save the match. But when we're in our 50s and we're making the most money, it's like no, now's the time.
Yeah, so obviously saving as much as we possibly can before retirement. Setting a specific percentage fails to consider individual circumstances and goals.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Number 3, having a specific dollar amount to retire.
This is the one that I think so many of us are doing ourselves a disservice by. This idea of we get obsessed, we need to have $1 million or $2 million, whatever that number is, and that's all we think about.
I know. And again, that's probably because people are hearing it online or hearing it from a friend or,
there's
someone that
there's TV commercials by the big banks done dedicated to this idea. What's your number?
And I know firms that advertise and they'll say, if you have $1 million or more or whatever, well, it leads people to believe that they need to at least have $1 million or $2 million. And it suggests that retirement success is based on a number. Like you need to get to $2 million. You need to get to $5 million. That is not the case for a lot of people. Now, most people we see, most people that we work with have usually saved at least $1 million to $3 million, somewhere in there. And we're seeing more and more people come in with 4, 5, 6 million, and sometimes even more than that, because people are just so diligent and prudent and disciplined in this DC metro area. But having a specific dollar amount to retire, man, that can be a big hurdle too, because what if you got to your retirement number? Let's say it was $3 million for you, and then 2022 happens again, 2008 happens again, right before you retire. You know what that person's going to do? They're going to continue working until they get back to that number.
And maybe they don't have to.
That's ridiculous in a lot of cases. And like people get fixated and stuck on this number. Like earlier in 2025, like the markets went down. They've recovered since. In 2022, markets were down almost 20%. They recovered in 23 and 24. Many people had hit that number that they wanted to get to feel confident about retiring.
Yeah.
Their portfolios and life savings then dipped in 2022 by almost 20%.
Yeah.
So, a $3 million portfolio is going down to like 2.4. Well, to get back up to 3, it doesn't happen overnight. Might take a year or two, sometimes years. But those people that are focused on that specific dollar amount, they're not going to retire until they get back up to that dollar amount, unless they're told by a fiduciary retirement planner that you still have enough saved.
Yeah. Stop
Fixating on this certain number that you think you need, because once you have the numbers run, if you find out, well, I can retire with $500,000 less, $1 million less than I thought.
Yeah.
My expenses are lower with my pension and Social Security, covers a lot of the bills. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Okay.
So don't get stuck on this arbitrary number that might not even mean anything.
Yeah.
The next one, Heather, number 4, is the 100 minus your age rule.
Okay, this one I'm not as familiar with, so explain what that one is.
So the idea here is, this is traditional advice of like subtracting your age minus 100. So if you're 60, you take 100 minus 60, 40 is the difference. And that would mean the amount that you should consider investing in growth stocks and in risk-based investments.
Okay, so
just think,
if you're 60, 40% of your savings should be in stocks. And what's the other 60?
But 60%, since you're 60, should be more safely invested, conservative, principal protected. Just think conservative investments, bonds, CDs, annuities, money markets, treasuries. But that could mean someone is being way too conservative at the point of retirement. I mean, if you're 60, there's a very good chance you're going to live into your 80s and 90s. And if you're too conservative and you've got 60 to 70% on the sideline, or just more conservatively invested, too conservatively invested, that can really come back to haunt you. You might not be able to keep up with inflation as much. The money might run out. Retirees' number one fear in retirement. You might not be able to pass on as much money as you wanted to pass on. So you can't be too conservative. You also can't be, or should not be, too aggressive.
Okay.
That's why the 60-40, 50-50, 65-35, 70-30 kind of in those portfolio ranges are the most popular, because there is more of a weighting towards growth, because we're just retiring. We've got another 20 plus 30 years in front of us. But we're also retiring. The paychecks are ending. We need paychecks from our life savings, the mentality, the mindset, needs to change. We need to start implementing some more protection, and typically at the point of retirement.
Yeah.
So we have the income we need and we don't get burnt by big losses.
All right.
Finally, the fifth one.
Yeah.
I need to be out of debt when I retire. Now, I agree and disagree. If you're talking about credit cards, personal loans, student loans, home equity lines, things like that, yeah, ideally those debts are paid off, especially right now with interest rates being high. You're probably paying high interest rates on those loans and credit cards and things that could be in the double digits, which can really hurt you. And, you know, it's, if at all possible, you want to have those types of things paid off. But like your house, yeah, a lot of people have a goal to have their primary home paid off by the time they get to retirement. But for a lot of people, they also refinance during COVID
if
years,
you got like a 2% interest rate on your mortgage.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Shelly and I in Loudoun County have an interest rate on our house of less than 3%.
Yeah.
So why would I ever be in a rush to like purposely pay down my house fast when I'm borrowing at less than 3? And a lot of people are borrowing 2.5, 2.75, 3.5. You know, but it all comes down to the clients and what they want, what their goals are. Oftentimes, their number one goal is to have their house paid off by the time they retire.
Okay. If
they have enough financial resources to do so, yeah, maybe it's not going to hurt them. And they can pay off that remaining balance. Maybe they have 100 to 200K left. They can pay it off with extra cash and still be okay.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So those are 5 like retirement myths and assumptions, some of them totally outdated, some that you really need to think through at the point of retirement to make sure you're not following like generic mass advice, but instead you're getting a personalized, tailored, customized income plan, retirement plan to your needs, whether you're single, married, divorced, widowed. Not listening to generic mass advice, getting a customized plan for you is going to be super helpful because the rules differ for everybody.
I was about to say all of this, it points to the one rule we should all apply, we should all follow, which is get a plan that's customized to you specifically as an individual.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Abe, you and your team, you're here to help folks do that. And a great way to begin understanding the various rules that are out there and how they do or do not apply to your plan, your future, is with Abe's book. The Retirement Mountain, The 7 Steps to a Long-Lasting Retirement is Abe's book. We published this, it was a year ago now. Happy book publishing anniversary. Lots of ways for you to get a copy of this book. Abe just wants to educate you, empower you with information. So free copies, we give a free copy to anybody who comes into the office for that initial meeting. You can also download a digital copy. They're available on Amazon. We can send you a copy. There's lots of different ways for you to get a copy of this book. We've got links for the book posted in the show notes as well. Go to theretirementkey.com. That's where you can connect with Abe's team, find links to the book there. But more than anything, find a fiduciary retirement planner who can help you see past the generic rules that you might be hearing about from friends, family, on the TV, commercials, and news, and get a plan that's customized to you and your goals for the years ahead. TheRetirementKey.com is where to go to start that conversation and begin the planning process with Abe and his team. We also have links posted in the show notes. Let's get to work helping you do better than general rules and mass information. Again, it's TheRetirementKey.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abich Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com and join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. Abish Financial Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. The information contained in this material is intended to provide general information about Abish Financial Wealth Management and its services. It is not intended to offer investment advice. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Information regarding investment products and services are provided solely to read about our investment philosophy and our strategies.